You land on the green, and now you start to wonder, how can I become a better putter? Well, you're in the right place today, where I'll be showing you all the different ways that can help you with your putting goal. Now, first, we'll be driving into the materials you'll actually need in order to become a better putter. Then we'll be chipping onto the green and looking into how we can putt. And then for the end, we'll be putting straight into the hole, hopefully for a birdie on this hole, into the benefits it is to become a better putter. So now driving this off, we're going to start with our materials. Of course, you'll need your putter. Now these come in many different prices, shapes, sizes, and all sorts of other things, today I'll be using a TaylorMade Spider. Well, you can of course have Callaway brands, more TaylorMade, and even a higher variety of brands. Then, of course, we'll need our golf balls. Normally on a day of golf, you'll need probably 20 to 30, depending on how many you're planning on losing. Today we'll be using a Callaway 3 Diablo. Then, if you want, you could choose your choice of glove. Not many people wear gloves when it comes to putting, but a lot of them will wear them on their left hand if they're a righty putter, just to give more comfort. Then, lastly, you don't really need this, but it's a divot fixer. This is for if you're putting or if you're chipping and then you have to fix the green. You should always fix and make sure you maintain the green before moving on. And there's also a chip. This you'll use if you're in a group of people. The farthest away from the hole will putt before you. So if you're in front of them, you'll put this underneath your ball and remove your ball, and it'll mark your spot. Now that we've looked into most of the materials you'll need, let's go ahead and go over the steps it takes to become a putter. Now, of course, with putting, it takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of standing there and just waiting. You also need to learn how to be able to read the green with how the angles and the speed and revolutions it'll take in order to make it in the hole. Many will take a few steps away from the hole and get down on their knees in order to read the putt. Now what you're looking for is the incline of the green. So depending on how far it is saying it's bending more to the left, you'll want to read that and look more towards the right and putt towards the right. Now we can start putting. Now there's many grips that it takes that can be done. So first we'll have the traditional, then there's the claw, then there's the wrist technique, and then there's the overlapping. Now today I'll be showing you the traditional. This is one of the easiest and most well-known that it takes, mostly because it's more comfortable. So when you have the ball in place, you'll line up about shoulder width apart with the ball, making sure that your knees are slightly bent and you are ready. Then you can take the putter and line it up and make sure you're all lined up. Make sure it's a nice safe distance and the end of the putter should be pointing somewhat towards your belly button. Now once you have that, you'll use the putter much like a pendulum. With however far back you go should be however far forward you go. And it should be at a relatively nice pace. It shouldn't be sped up towards the front, otherwise it can cause the ball to lose control. So now that we have all these steps, we can finally get into putting the ball with just slowly moving it back depending on how far you want to go, making sure that nothing in the wrists move. It'll all be upper body. So now that you have that, depending on how far or how fast you want to hit the ball will depend on how far back you want to go. Now once you get to that distance, you'll then just release it forward into the same pendulum motion, and it should end roughly to the same distance you went back. So now that we've putted the ball into the hole, let's go ahead and putt for birdie and look at all the benefits it comes to being a better putter. One of the main benefits of becoming a better putter is just having better self-esteem when you can make those easy or hard putts. And a lot of it comes with bragging rights. If you can hit a putt better than your friends, there's a lot of bragging that comes with that. Other than your self-esteem, it can help with overall emotion throughout the course. If you are struggling with putting, it can lead to anger and even sometimes sadness, and it'll completely throw off your game of golf. Being able to putt will then help with making the game of golf even more enjoyable. It also helps with getting rid of some of those strokes, being able to keep your golf game to a par or lower. Now that we've finished with, can I get a recue? Yeah.